Welcome back to the channel. Brett and I, Middleman USA Senior here, and today we've got two Glock 36 single stacks being compared to a SIG Sauer P220 compact. All of these pistols, exciting pistols, 45 ACP pistols. Does it get any better than that? Not really, not as far as I'm concerned. If you want a self-defense gun, these are excellent for it. 6+1, 7-round capacity of 45 ACP. Pick your flavor. What do you like? We like this one a lot. Remington Golden Saber bonded ammo, 230 grain, I believe. There it is. 230 grain jacketed hollow point bonded ammo. This runs very, very well in the SIG pistol. So I anticipate that it's going to run very, very well in these two Glock pistols. The other one that we shoot a lot used to be the SIG Elite Performance V-Crown. Just know that we have had very bad luck with our two P220 compacts with SIG ammo. So get rid of it. Don't use it. Buy yourself some of this and you should be very happy. We look forward to shooting the Glock 36 with different types of carry ammo to see how it shoots, or we may just go with this and stay with this because we know we like it for our SIG pistols also.
Talking about the Glock 36 and the P220 compact, which one feels more ergonomic in hand? Guys, the Glock 36 through this dimension right here feels pretty big in hand. It is not as comfortable as the SIG P220 in my opinion. You can look at that right through here again. It's just a thinner dimension through here, even though it's slightly thicker through here, if we look at these two. Yeah, but again, because it's thinner through here, I get a little bit better of a grip with this 220, and I'm just able to wield the pistol a little bit better, more comfortably anyway. And it is a little bit different how it feels with the standard P220 grip compared to the Hogue grip here on this P220. So the standard plastic grip here is even thicker through here, and you can especially see it up here toward the slide stop and decocker in comparison to this. Yeah, you guys see what I'm talking about. Again, same gun, slight different variation because this is an elite model with the extended elite style beaver tail, or enhanced elite, I believe. Talking about that Glock 36, it's just not as comfortable in hand, but it's not bad, guys. It really isn't. If you think the Glock 30 is really terrible and you've never held a Glock 36, you will definitely probably like how the Glock 36 feels in hand. It ain't bad, but again, it's just a little thick through here compared to the 220s. Beretta Sears recent purchase. Beretta Sears talked a lot of crap about my 220s. I'll let you guys know that right now. Behind the scenes, he was calling them a two-shot Derringer because again, they wouldn't run that SIG ammo. There was SIG 45 right here, right? And so he was talking a lot of crap. He didn't really like the overall compact here, but yeah, someone might have recently purchased a compact for himself. So you guys will have to stay tuned to see what he picked up there as far as the 220. It's a different variant. It's not even remotely similar to this, and we'll definitely probably have to make a comparison itself to a Glock 36 because again, it's its own animal. And there is not a single video on YouTube that we've seen covering one. We're gonna have to break it out to compare it to one of these standard 220 compacts. Big fan of both these guns though, you guys. You choose to carry a Glock 36 or a 220 compact, I think you are very well armed. And again, I own both the Glock 36s seen in the Glock 36 review and these 220 compacts. So real experience here, owning the guns, not just, you know, fondling 30 minutes and making a video. The Glock 36 doesn't fit as well in my hand, but if you have a larger hand like Beretta Sears does, Glock 36 feels a little bit better in his hand. But then again, he also likes the way the 220 feels in his hand. So again, they're similar, but they're not. It's a small difference, but it's enough of a difference that it could matter to you for sure, depending on your hand size and the way the pistols feel in your hand specifically. My personal preference between these two designs, which I prefer, and this isn't going to be a surprise to anyone that covered which gun we reviewed first on the channel, and that is the SIG Sauer P220 Compact. Again, I've had these guns for almost 3 years here. I used this gun in this Walther PPKS box when I was hunting as a third gun that I took with me on the trip. You can still see that I have the spare mag in here, and again, this is how I set this up here. 13 rounds of 45 here, stashed in this little 380 box. So anyway, it's absolutely no surprise that I love the 220, and I love the double action, single action, and all the double strike capability as to setting off, you know, a live round if it doesn't go off with that first pulling the trigger again before you do a tap, rack, bang, trying to get this thing to fire if it doesn't. Double action, single action. Again, my first centerfire gun was a Beretta 92, so I am very used to that double action, single action transition. It's not an issue to me. actually prefer the SIG platform over the Glocks, and that's not taken away completely from the Glock. They are entirely utilitarian. This is just again one of my absolute favorite as far as carrying the heavier, either light bearing or non-light bearing P220 compact. Both are perfect to get the job done. Slinging that 45 ACP, that hard hitting lead, just a beautiful round coming out of these pistols. If you're into carry 45 aside from the officer size 1911, these are some of the best.
These are the ones that seem to be falling off. These are the ones that aren't selling in as huge a numbers. So if you want a SIG pistol, especially the P series, the P220 as you see here, or full size, the P229, the P227, P226, the P228, there's lots of P series guns that are still out there and available, and a lot of them are available used. You're almost paying for these used like $100 less than they sold for new 8 or 10 years ago. So that's just what's going on. The guns have really held their value, though the value of the dollar is different, right? So we're not going to get into that on this video. Traditional Glock and traditional SIG. SIG magazines are more expensive for sure, harder to find these days for sure. Glocks are everywhere, Glock magazines are everywhere. So if you want a SIG of any type that's a P series gun, my advice to you, find one used. 6+1, 7 rounds of 45 ACP. Bring in the heat. You've got some guns that are pretty easy to CCW. Let's take a look at these two right here. There's the thickness of them, basically the size being held side by side. So let's try to match them up in the rear here, and I will slowly bring them up to the camera and then slowly just bring them back together so you can see just how close in size they actually are. It does appear to me that the SIG is a little bit thicker than that 1-inch magical number that the Glock is chasing right here. If you're a SIG guy or you decide to go with the 220 because you like the way that the 220 works, you like the double action, single action capabilities of this pistol, you like the reputation of the SIG pistols, which is still pretty friggin' excellent out there, even though it's an American-made company, lots of American-made guns. I haven't seen very many of them breaking down and having lots of issues. So if you know something about that or you've experienced it several times, please let us know. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're still probably one of the most reliable guns out there. 2 of them right here sitting on the table. And if you care to disagree or you've got a lot of evidence that says otherwise, please share with us in a respectful manner. I would love to learn something new today that I don't already know about these wonderful guns. We talked about capacities of these great pistols right here. We talked about their size overall as far as their size from top to top. Let's look at them from the back. And again, you can tell that the SIG is a bigger gun. I mean, it is slightly bigger in almost every department. But again, if you're a SIG guy and you like that double strike capability, the hammer fired all steel aluminum alloy, whichever one you happen to have, or an all steel SIG, whichever one you have. This is a steel with aluminum alloy. This of course is steel up on the top and polymer or plastic on the bottom. So that's what you're looking at there. I really didn't try to bang them together, but they did anyway. From the bottom, this is kind of what they look like here. So not the big difference that maybe you thought it would be. I was thinking it would be a bigger noticeable difference from the bottom of the frame, but that's not really the case. If you take the light off right there, they'd be pretty damn close, wouldn't they? Weight-wise, you're looking at a little over 20 ounces on this one here as far as the Glock 36s are concerned, and you're looking at about 30 ounces on the 220 compact. So that is somewhat of a difference, right? 20 ounces here, 30 ounces here. Does this feel heavy? No. Does this feel light? Yeah, it really does. It's a light gun. What I didn't like about them the first time I shot them was I just didn't like the way they recoiled kind of aggressively compared to my Glock 30, which I was completely in love with. A double stack 45 ACP Glock. And I shot this, which is a much smaller gun. So you've got to figure if you've got a smaller gun and you're shooting 45 ACP, that you're gonna be dealing with a little bit more recoil. Don't be a puss, it's not that much. I agree with you, man. It's not, believe me. But for folks that don't do a lot of 45 ACP shooting, see if you can borrow one, shoot a friend's, rent one at the local range. Make sure that you're going to put 50 or 60 or 70 rounds through it while you're shooting it. And if you walk away after shooting it 50, 60, 70 times and said, oh, that was no problem at all, these are your gun, if that's the case. We put these on a trigger scale. They came out a little bit more than 5 pounds, both of them. So I'll do it one more time on one of them, right? Just to be able to prove that we did it before in the last video. So I hook it up right here and try to ride it in the middle down towards the bottom. That way you get a good clean break. 4 pounds, 13.3 ounces. just because I like proving it to you guys. I don't want anybody saying that I didn't do this right or didn't do that right because I'm a Glock hater or whatever. That's not the case, and most of you guys know that. I always try to do the right thing. 5 pounds, 7 ounces. Now I'm doing the third one. Look at. So when you get it there, try to hold it. 5 pounds, 9 ounces. And to the SIG. 6+1 metal magazine. Magazines are a bit more expensive. And we're gonna do double action first and see if I can get anything, right? 10 pounds, 3 ounces. 10 pounds, 5 ounces. And one last one. 10 pounds, 6 ounces again. So consistent, just over 10 pounds. Consistent, guys. And check out the trigger. It's very consistent all the way back. And it is heavy, but it's consistently heavy. You can stop. No, I don't want to shoot. That's the advantage, right? You've got this heavy trigger that you can put more pressure on. And then if you decide not to shoot, you can then let up off the trigger and just cover them with the firearm as you wait for law enforcement to show up. You go back to the trigger if you have to, and you have to want to shoot this gun for 10 pounds. All right, this should be good, man. 5 pounds, 10 ounces, that's a little heavy. Let's see if that was me or 5 pounds, 10 ounces, twice in a row. Last time, I'm just trying to be consistent here. 5 pounds, 6 ounces. So 5.6 to 5.10 for this reduced amount of pull and travel on the SIG P220 compact. It's so sweet, guys. This is what it's all about. This is why people go this direction. They like that trigger pull. All right, let's reset it. So this is not an SRT, a short reset trigger. That's a normal SIG trigger. And young Beretta and I were talking about them. Even though it's a normal SIG trigger, most of them are very, very consistent and very good. So double action, bring it down steady. It doesn't stack. You can stop at any time until you get way back to the back where it's finally gonna break, right? And with a single action, a little bit of take up right here. You're back, way back there. See that? You're near the back. And a little more pressure and it just breaks. Take up, a little more pressure, little movement right there. And it snapped. I had total control on that one. I was able to move it a little bit just right there. And then as I go a little further, just really good. So there you go, guys. 6+1 in 45 ACP. So do you like your plastic fantastic in 1-inch width, or do you like it a little bit bigger pistol, a little more weight to it, and you like an all metal gun? Obviously, we like them both ways. Glock 36, 6+1 in 45 ACP. Going up against the traditional SIG P Series 220 compact, 6+1 night sights. Absolutely beautiful to look at if you're a SIG person at all. This thing is just awesome. Again, he purchased this used also. So what were the prices? I know you're gonna ask. He paid $800, $850 for these, I believe, and he paid $450 for these, right in that neighborhood. So still, lots of good deals out there for those of you that are on a budget. Are you on an $800 budget? Then now you can open it up to SIG's all metal guns and get SIG reliability, SIG's double strike capability, and just the basic looks of a beautiful SIG pistol. Or you're a plastic person who likes their guns as light as possible and as small as possible, then you're going to be more of a Glock 36 type person. And there will be shooting reviews coming up on these Glock 36s here in 2024. So stay tuned for that, guys. Be respectful to each other. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching the channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, the Beretta 9mm USA channel and the CZ 9mm USA channel for more guns and gear videos coming to you in the future. We'll see you guys on the next video, and remember, your Second Amendment is worth protecting.